How was Indianapolis?
It was interesting. It's always weird being around all those NFL people because it feels like you're in a different world. And it was strange because like Anthony Richardson was the person I was following most closely because obviously I live in Gainesville. I've known about him since he was in high school. And just watching all those people just assume this is a top 10 pick. And I'm like, wait a second. All these games, are you sure about this? And they're like, yeah, we're sure. It's going to happen. And it's strange, but then you kind of understand as you talk to more of them why that is. Because, NFL GMs, you're getting hired and fired. You're getting fired if you pick the wrong quarterback. But if you look at top 10 type quarterbacks, two out of every three of them bust anyway. So if you're going to reach on one or try to project one, take the guy who there aren't other human beings like him walking around on the planet. Like that's the guy you take. So I understand now better why Anthony Richardson is probably going to go where he's going to go. Whereas before the combine, I was like, how in the world are you going to take him in the first round? Because you saw what we saw at Florida. It's going to be really hard. We've only seen one or two people become more accurate, be better than they were in college. And now I get it. Now I understand why they're going to do it. I don't know if it's going to work, but I get it.
Okay. More with Andy Staples, off of Daddy Duty, onto Sharp Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. He was in Indianapolis. We'll get his take on the other two quarterbacks. You heard Richardson. Now, to follow up on Richardson, because my partner Amal has a big-time take, you're mostly incredulous that he's going to go top 10. Is that fair?
Yeah, Anthony, Andy, I'm going to bring up one stat, 53.8%. That's completion percentage. Bill Polian, he was on a show with us one time. He said the most important thing for a quarterback is accuracy. How does he overcome that to a level where he can be – in today's NFL, it seems like guys are mid-60s consistently.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea. But Josh Allen did it, and that's why everybody thinks that he can do it. And the fact that Josh Allen did it is really driving a lot of hope for a lot of people. And you're going to see that. But no, that is the issue. That's why me, as someone who covers college football, was like, what are you guys talking about first round top 10? But the thing is, then he tests, which I knew he was going to test well. I didn't quite grasp the context of how well he was going to test. But they go, okay, he's 20 years old. He's only started one season in college football. He's a bit of an unwritten story. We can fix him. And that's what these guys are going to say. That's what whoever picks him is going to say. We can fix him. Somebody fixed Josh Allen. We can fix him. And the difference is Josh Allen was a little bit older. Josh Allen had a very productive season the next to last year at Wyoming. He lost a lot of his talent around him and had a pretty tough last year at Wyoming. But he was not the most accurate guy. And he became a much more accurate quarterback. He actually wasn't the most accurate when he got in the NFL, but became much more accurate as he went on. So that's what they're hoping. But again, you notice I keep talking Josh Allen and I keep not mentioning other people who became more accurate when they got to the NFL because there aren't any.
Totally anomalous. Generally, you don't get more accurate. It's kind of an innate thing. I totally agree. Bryce Young, where are you on him? He measured just over 5'10", right?
5'10", 204. I have no idea what sort of diet he was eating to get up to 204. It's probably something that the old me would have loved. But he's my favorite of these quarterbacks. Look, I'm a simple person. I cover college football. I watch these guys play a lot. And my thing is just take the person who's best at football. And the person who has demonstrated that he is best at football over a 2-year period as Alabama's starting quarterback is Bryce Young. And I am very confident when Bryce Young walks on the field, you feel like he has command of the offense, that everybody is looking to him to lead, that he's calm, comfortable. He can run, but as a small person, you worry about him running. But he's not looking to run. He's looking to keep plays alive in the pocket, keep looking downfield. So that's what I like about him. I feel comfortable. He was playing for Bill O'Brien, who was a former NFL head coach, a current NFL offensive coordinator. He ran an offense run by a guy who will run the Patriots offense this year. So I would imagine he can adjust pretty quickly. CJ Stroud I like too, but I like Bryce Young a little bit more.
Would you bet Stroud at minus 185? That's the odds right now for him to go first overall in this draft. If not, where would you go if you don't believe Stroud goes to Carolina? I
would think Stroud's the guy at number one. I think it feels like the Texans are going to wind up with Bryce Young, and I think that's what they want. But I think if you're the Panthers, you had to make sure you could go get what you needed, because the Bears were offering that pick to anybody who wanted it. And if you're the Panthers, you're like, well, the Colts may trade up and take Stroud, or somebody else may trade up and take Stroud if Stroud's their guy. I think if Richardson were their guy, they probably, I don't know, they would have hung out at 9, but I don't know that they would have had to go all the way up to 1. And so that's what it feels like to me. Now, obviously, they are going to be very cagey about this. They're going to keep you're going to hear, oh, the Colts may take Bryce Young just to get the Texans nervous. Just to make the Texans think, oh, do we need to trade up 1 pick to make sure they get their guy if Bryce Young's their guy? You're going to hear the Panthers say, well, we might trade the pick if the deal is right. They won't close the door on it. But it does seem to me that that's what they did, that they were trading up to get CJ Stroud.
Where does
Jalen Carter?
Sorry, go ahead.
We both were going to ask the same question. Jinx on you, Amal. So I'll ask it quickly. Jalen Carter, what the hell is going on here, Andy?
Well, I don't know that he's going to fall as far as some people think. I think, there's talk that maybe the Bears wind up being able to get him at 9 when they could have gotten him at 1. But I don't know. He may not fall past the Seahawks at 5. He came in heavy for pro day, didn't have the best pro day, but given everything that's been going on, that's kind of understandable. The legal situation is now taken care of. It looks like he did a plea deal. He's got probation. This was there was an incident where it was a horrible story where basically he was driving his car very fast, got arrested for racing. The other car was going very, very fast. That other car lost control, collided with something, and 2 people died. One of his former teammates and one of the Georgia recruiting staffers died in the wreck. And it's a horrible situation, but it doesn't sound like there's going to be any more legal ramifications coming from it. So if you're a team, you're going to want to make sure that you feel comfortable drafting him. But I don't know that the situation is going to make you more uncomfortable. I don't think you're going to be sitting there waiting, is there another shoe to drop? I think the legal stuff has been wrapped up in this, which I would imagine that keeps him pretty high in the draft.
Andy, this is more of a general question. You can go with who you think is going to go first. Wide receiver or cornerback, one particular player, because there are prop bets out here, which cornerback is first taken, or wide receiver. Anyone that you're pretty confident, whether it's a JSN going from Ohio State or potentially Gonzalez out of Oregon going as the first DB taken. Is there anyone in particular that you think will be the first one off the board at their position?
I'm going back to last year thinking about that because I don't like when Drake London went. I remember thinking that was higher than I thought he'd go, and maybe higher than I thought a receiver would go. I think it'll be corner first.
Okay.
And the question is, will it be Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon? I think it's Gonzalez, but people have loved Gonzalez for the entire time. Gonzalez transferred from Colorado to Oregon. And I remember asking our draft analyst, Dane Brugler at The Athletic, would he still be a first-round candidate, the get the buzz he's getting had he stayed at Colorado? And Dane said, yeah, no, he was one everybody loved at Colorado, and then he goes and plays a different defense at Oregon and looks just as good. So I think Christian Gonzalez is sort of proven, hey, I'm scheme versatile. I can be a guy that can just take away a side. So that's the guy I would think. If you're going to say is it corner or receiver first, I'd say corner, because I don't know that there's a receiver that everybody's going to just say we have to have him. And then if it's the first corner, I'm guessing Christian Gonzalez.
Okay, Gonzalez $1.90 favorite, Witherspoon plus 165. Before we say goodbye, Richardson, we know the tests were off the charts. Just eyeball. Did he look similar to Cam? Was he that impressive visually, just like aesthetically?
As crazy as this sounds, he's a better athlete than Cam. Like better athlete. And I know people's view of Cam is sort of colored by late career Cam where he was very banged up and injured, but I'm talking about at Auburn Cam or early with the Panthers Cam where he was an absolute freak of nature. And Anthony is actually more athletic than Cam was, with the same quality of arm, maybe even a little bit bigger arm. But the difference is Cam put together one of the most dominant college seasons you have ever seen. Maybe the most dominant college season anybody's ever put together. He dragged an Auburn team to an undefeated record in a national title. That is significantly different than the season that Anthony Richardson had last year at Florida.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.